Hi everybody. I'm just wanting to go over September and October. A lot of shit has gone down. I've posted other videos, kind of generalized videos, but I'm going to be going over specifics right now. Okay, well, we have here, I'm going to be going over, because I do like dream divination. A lot of people do, they just don't realize it. And I'm going over some of those. Now you're going to notice that there's going to be breaks in the video because I'm pausing the camera because some of this stuff is personal. Anyway, September 17th. Me being cocky and knowing how to do it higher, to tap into higher spirituality or to join with the collective consciousness and do higher magic. Sunny is dead kept playing in my head. Sunny is dead, Sunny is dead. I was conversing with an ancient civilization of beings. Fork with two prongs with a circle at the top. So it looked like this, and then went straight down, and then it had like two forks at the bottom of it. Let's see here. September 18th. More snakes. Dreaming they were trying to bite me. They were gray in color. They were after me because I was in their environment. I was trying to get rid of them. And my family was with me. We were in a hotel. And I tried to pay people back with nice deeds in coffee and spells. Okay. Let's see here. Can't go over that one. Monday, September 19th. I might butcher how you say this, but Kalich. What is the Kaliak? Is that how you pronounce it? Kaliak? Basically what it is, it's a winter deity. She's an old hag. I believe she's got blue skin and white hair. And she's a Gaelic or Celtic or Irish deity. Can't go over that one. Let's see here. Can't go over that one. I remember my dreams good 98% of the time, and I have them every night. So I have to teach myself to get up at, whenever they're happening, usually 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning, and be awake enough to write them down or to text myself or something. Let's see here. On the 22nd of September, says another dream was alongside the thunder and rain that was happening outside. I dreamed of Hekate as a skeleton in a black cloak, and she was following us just talking and in the house. Actually, looking back in retrospect, that wasn't her. I'll get to that in just a second. That's a dream that's not really important. On the September 23rd, Descended Virgin Mary. There's more, but that's all I'm going to say. Let's see here. Okay. This is around the time where I decided to stop smoking, which I have. It's been 3 weeks since I've smoked a cigarette. Monday, September 26th. This actually did happen. At around 5 in the morning, the foot of my bed gets hit 5 times. And I know this because I'm a light sleeper. Ever since I had my son, I'm a light sleeper. So somebody's hitting the bottom of the bed, like 2, 3, 4, 5. And I hear a woman saying, "You and I had a promise." And it was kind of a deeper woman's voice. I remember that I had made a promise to Hekate that I was going to stop smoking. And then not 2 days later or something, I had a cigarette. And then another day later, I had a cigarette. And another day later, I had a cigarette. So, yeah, that's probably what was being referenced. So I was like, okay, I won't. Let's see here. Okay, I lived on September 27th. I lived in a house with somebody. We had a huge pool with manatees and dolphins, but we noticed that they ate the dog we had, and they were trying to eat my son. Somebody mentioned the goddess in her maiden mother crone form, and I quickly corrected him that it wasn't what I believed. He was stating that he was not trying to offend, but to call on her for help. And then my son had shape-shifting powers. Okay, on the 29th, I had a dream that entailed cascarilla, which is ground up eggshells, which is used in a lot of magical workings for protection. It's also, I'm not going to say it's Mexican or it's Hispanic in origin, but you will notice that a lot of minority groups will use it in their workings. It's really prevalent in like hoodoo and Santeria, and like I said, a lot of minorities will use it in their workings. Let me see here. September 30th, a bear and a lion. And I was sleeping as a feral child next to the bear and the lion. The lion called the shots, because the lion was the shot caller, I guess. And the bear was more submissive and kind of just did whatever. Let's see. October 1st. Dream of Hekate. She is bitter because she deals with the scum of the earth. 3s are prevalent. Goat walking toward me with long white mane and deer antlers. I'm not sure that it was even her, to tell you the truth, looking back. I'll get to my confusion in just a second. Let's see here. I'm just reading you my dreams, and after that I'm going to go over the meditation. So this is going to be kind of a long video. On the 3rd, Hekate playful. Her face appeared on a statue with her tongue sticking out of it like Kali. Gargoyle with yellow eyes looking at me very serious. Going through the witch rules and getting reminded that I already know how it works. Almost as if I have been taught the rules already and got an image of a statue's concrete foundation, implying that it starts from the base upwards. Balance, justice, equality are all basics of witchcraft. She appeared on a small Statue of Liberty's face. Something about 3s and witchcraft's natural forces. Shit. Let me see. I controlled a group of dogs. I hosted a party. I found a large Pan and Hekate statues in some drawers. I wanted to display them. The people at the outdoor party were very immature. They didn't clean after themselves. She told me I was scared of different things than other people were, so to quit worrying about it. Okay. Painted coral snakes hanging and falling from a red, white, and black tree, dripping with paint onto the Jeep that I drive, to scare me into pitying somebody. Let's see here. Okay, there's no more that's relevant. Okay. October 6th. Flooding. A huge river had gone dry, and the people were fighting to restore it. We were all staying in an abandoned airport. There were people of all ages, including children, who needed this river for survival. It finally rained and the river started to overflow. When we watched it cover playgrounds and houses. Some people snuck off with children to go play and were playing in the water. Some people got suicidal and jumped off some cliffs to bash their heads open. We were traveling in a bus. A relative of mine was an activist for the preservation of that river. We got excited because it had extended from its original area over into a bigger area, but it all started with a night's rain. The activists were ghosts and demons. One looked like Barbara in Beetlejuice when she has her mouth stretched open. Another was an old lady, very pale and in black, like the gypsy from Drag Me to Hell. Then another dream was me peeling off huge pieces of skin from my scalp up here that looked like reptilian skin, and it had circular patterns with silvery blue spots. Okay. Okay, October 8th. Snakes. Again. I dream about snakes a lot. Were given out as trophies. Kinda for you to get used to them and for good deeds. Gray snakes slithered out of my shorts along with 2 other animals. I think one was a ferret and a cat. I was scared. I tried to give my grandmother a 2-headed snake and she wasn't afraid of it, neither was my recently passed great Aunt Delia. They said that they didn't have enough room for them. Like, they didn't have anywhere to put this little trophy in their house. Algies, 3-way crossroad morphing into Feiyu with extra arm creating a bind room. Okay, Algies is a rune. If you know what a rune is, if you don't know what a rune is, look it up. Algies is the one that kind of looks like a peace sign. It's got 3 arms and then a straight line going down like this. And it morphed into Feiyu. Feiyu is, it's a straight line like this, and it's got 2 lines sticking up like this. Like an F pointing upward. With an extra arm creating a bind rune. So when you have 2 runes or more put together, you create a bind rune. It's kind of like creating a sigil, you know, like a symbol to use as power, I guess. And Algies is usually a rune of protection, and Feiyu is usually a rune of wealth. So in my opinion, those are 2 good runes. Let me see here. The name Gigi. The name Gigi popped up. Okay, October 9th. Leopard cat. Spotted cat running. Number 5. My son panicking because I yell at him too much, leaving him confused. I'll admit it. Going to a witch shop and collecting a little necklace that collects a sort of dust, like a locket or a poison ring, but smaller. Blue dust. It was blue dust for protecting, I think. Witchy people ignore me because I'm inexperienced in their customs. Okay. Okay. Alright. October 13th. Which 13s are popping up like fucking crazy. Okay, anyway. Rosalind Sanchez. She's an actress. She came out in Love Boat or something like that. Is a movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. Anyway, she's an actress. It says, I had so many questions for Hekate. She knew it. So I called her in panic. So she manifested in my boyfriend as Rosalind Sanchez. So he goes from him, looking like him, to looking like Rosalind Sanchez. Okay? I wanted to know if Gothi children, like the boys, when lost their virginity, if they were officially Gothi. Gothi is kind of like, it's kind of like a shaman or a witch, kind of, in the Nordic pagan tradition. The Asatru and the Odinists and all that have schools of thought, and they have courses that they're trying to restore from ancient texts in regards to Gothi, which is an esoteric practice. So I was dreaming about that. Like, I was running to him to ask him, hey, once the Gothi little girls that are coming into the age of adulthood lose their virginity, is it the same as like a little boy losing his virginity and now they are officially like of age, you know, they've gotten to their rite of passage? And I don't know why. This was a dream, okay? So I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Okay. So now she's morphed into Rosalind Sanchez, right? She interrupted my thoughts and speech as I stuttered, and she shook her head. She hugged me in my distress and frustration and says, "Does your question have to do with witchcraft?" I said, "No." She says, "Then don't worry about it." And she giggled and smiled. She hugged me with tight hugs and then left that body. I was left hugging my boyfriend because he already morphed from her back into himself. And he was just giggling like a mother proud of her child who had stupid questions. Okay, she looked like when she left the Rosalind Sanchez body, she looked like this belly dancer that I saw a picture of from Texas Renaissance Fair. And she has brown hair, and she had brown hair and a big bun, similar to Meg from the Hercules movie. Hercules. I know, I have a very vivid imagination. Sorry if this is confusing. This appearance was when she was in spirit form before going into the body. So in spirit form, she looked like Meg from Hercules. When she morphed into a body, she looked like Rosalind Sanchez. These are my epitomes of beauty, I guess. I don't know. She was an olive skin tone and wearing light lavender flowing silk dress. When this conversation happened, she changed my boyfriend's appearance into Rosalind Sanchez. She was sitting/kneeling in a carport area by a pool. I remember feeling surprised and shocked that she had changed his appearance. Okay. So, let's see here. Okay. Matthew. All right. Before I get into this is October 14th. A former friend of mine and I used to go to this cemetery a lot, and we used to chill at this guy's tombstone, and his name was Matthew. What happened was we later found out when we did some research that he had actually drowned at South Padre Island. The undertow took him. It's very sad. Anyway, it says Matthew from San Benito Cemetery was very well versed in spiritualism and the afterlife. I was trying to learn from him. Then it says creepy old guy kept trying to teach me stupid things and hit on me. Things I already knew. Let's see. I was coloring a holographic fish in rainbow colors, but then ran out of red. It shined blue and gold when you rotated it, kind of like the Cracker Jack prizes, you know? Then some special needs girl was babysitting this kid, and she smacked it on the forehead. So I smacked her on the forehead and took the kid with me. It was a baby. I left a relative's house, and that creepy dude was there that was following me. Some kid was exposing himself in the window. My grandfather was there, but there was something wrong with him. He was off, like in a weird mood. Mind you, my grandfather's deceased. He and my great uncle, who's also deceased, were older and suffering. I packed up a desk full of things when I went to the car. The old creepy guy, who I feel I've known for a while, followed me out, and I yelled at him. I levitated over a big water puddle. I remember being very proud at this point because I had an ability that he didn't. I turned to him and bragged as I levitated because I knew it was something he could never do. Okay, let me see. No, not that one. Not that one either. Okay. October 18th. We're getting close here. My son is a wolf. I was looking for Merrick inside of a school. That's my son's name, Merrick. And I happened upon several teachers conversing in the hallway. I asked one where I could find Merrick's classroom, and Merrick was next to me, but he was way younger. She says she remembers having him as a student and had a very reluctant look on her face. She almost started to cry. I asked her what was wrong, and she said that he was a victim of abuse. I told her that he was never a victim of abuse, but for some reason I remember him having lots of skin rashes. She showed me pictures of his skin, and it looked as though it was burned. I came to the realization that yes, and that is because his skin was an additional layer of clothing for him. He would remove his skin, and underneath he was a wolf. When he removed his layers of skin, he was more comfortable, but as a gray and silver wolf child. It almost seems as though I finally came to the realization of what he was. The rest of my dreams had to do with seeing a black snake underneath a cabinet, but it didn't necessarily try to attack me. See, I'm telling you, I dream about snakes a lot. I was dreaming of skeleton women and Day of the Dead things. I know that I had a conversation with a spirit who was associated with Day of the Dead, but I don't remember who it was. I was trying to decide if I should work with Santa Muerte or not, but I don't think I got a definitive answer. But there was definitely instilled in me. Okay. I shouldn't say this one because it might sound offensive. Okay. October 21st. Reapers. It was not a dream, but it happened this was actually happening in the bedroom. Happened right as I opened my eyes from being asleep. I look to the left of the bedroom by the window, and I see a 5-foot-tall little boy in a blue cloak staring out the window. When I get all of these images of skulls and skeletons and something speaking Spanish. Then I get woken up again, and it's a reaper and in all black walking toward me. And then I just put, let's see if it's all in my head or not. Okay. 22nd. Working with her. I don't even remember this. Older white guy trying to work with Santa Muerte, but she will only work with certain people. Okay. And then the 24th, which was last night. Star green halo swirling around the bedroom, bear and goat, morphing face like 3D video. Okay, I was in the bedroom. This is a dream, okay? I was in the bedroom, and I was, from third person perspective, I was sitting across from Santa Muerte, and she was wearing all black. Every time I've seen her, she's wearing black. And she has these glowing, beautifully lit neon green stars as a halo around her head. There's 13 of them, of course. And they come off of her head, and they start flying around the room in uniform. And I'm looking at them like, oh my God, that is so awesome. And, and I start chasing them. And she's just kind of looking at me like, you are so easily entertained. And I'm just like, this is fun. And then after that, I must have woke up and went back to bed. And I look up and I see this bear walking towards me at the same time as a goat walking towards me, and they're both looking down at me. Very stern and very serious. Kind of like, we're watching you. And I'm just kind of like, what? I don't understand. What does that mean? Like, I have a very close connection with goats because, well, I'm a Capricorn, and I've always had an affinity for goats. Always, always. See, that's my goat tattoo. And everybody's always under the assumption they're evil, they're evil. I'm like, they're a fucking goat. How can they be evil? It's a fucking animal, you know? Anyway, and so I feel close to them. But the bear? How can you get a close affinity to a bear? We're not really in a big habit of snuggling up next to a bear, are we? As a society. Anyway, so Let me go back to September 21st. It says, I've got a lot of... half an hour already, god damn. I've got a lot of catching up to do here, and I know this is primarily for my own recollection. I've been having lots of vivid dreams about daily life and about confidence. I will post them as screenshots. There are some, of course, that are personal, so I won't post them. I've been gaining interest in Santa Muerte, but something told me not to delve too far into my research on her. I will admit that my interest is primarily about immediate gratification and... oh, the screen just blinked. Immediate gratification and gaining interest and immediate gratification and the look and feel of that spirit. I also like the daily devotions and the very interactive nature of that spirit. But I have Hekate in my corner, and in a fit of frustration, I did all I could today to try to get Hekate's attention. Needless to say, during a meditation, she made herself known, physically. This is where I think I was wrong. I was in a somewhat meditative state, and still in between here and there, and I felt this tall, dark presence standing behind me. When I say dark, I don't mean evil, but rather more like a thick void in feminine form. I felt it gather from the base of the couch I was sitting on and formed upward to about 6 foot tall, hooded mass. I got the illusion in my head of a cloaked figure in black. I knew she was watching me, and since I had provoked her, I knew that she might have been exasperated with me or trying to intimidate me. It slowly dissipated after a minute, but it was thick and heavy. The same occurrence took place during the Rite of her Sacred Fires, the Covenant of Hekate ritual I did back in 2014. I wrote a blog about it if you would care to scroll down and read about it. It was quite the interesting experience. In order to get her attention, today I made 3... Okay. I created a bath that was specifically for her to cleanse myself. It was almost like a baptism for myself in reverence of her. I got some aloe from outside because I was told to. Aloe is the key right here. And I got some bay leaves as well as some mugwort. These things are correlated with her. Well, the bay leaves and the mugwort are correlated with Hekate, but not the aloe. I also got a black tea light candle and created a sigil for her and burned the tea light candle on top of the sigil. So if all of these things don't prove dedication, I don't know what does. During the tarot reading, I was told that I was very close to stepping into something I didn't need to be getting involved with, and I believe what this is in reference to is working with Santa Muerte. I understand that different spirits have different personalities, and perhaps Hekate is warning me that I could not handle Santa Muerte's personality. I still read about her, but won't try to involve her in my life unless otherwise advised by Mama. Well, as you can see, the Santa Muerte altar right behind me. Needless to say, I'm one of those people that takes lessons hard, I guess. Anyway, so that's as far as the dreams. And that was one meditation. Oh, last night, when I was falling asleep, I asked Santa Muerte to talk to me. Tell me anything she needed to tell me. And I got Vanessa can guide you, Funyuns, breached birth, muerto. For so many years I've seen you falling to pieces. Cello, which is a relative of mine that recently passed. I'm not a rambler or a gambler. And then Hekate. Yeah. I saved him. I saved it on my as a pinned note on my desktop. So that's what I'm reading right now. Anyway, okay. So needless to say, I've gotten very involved. Well, I've gotten very interested and somewhat involved with Santa Muerte, and she feels close to me because of the culture that she's most prevalent in, which is the Mexican culture. I mean, my relatives inhabited Mexico. I'm right by Mexico. This is something I was raised with. You used to see Grim Reaper decals on cars all the time down here. Everybody has a Grim Reaper tattoo practically, And some people do it just because it's a reaper. Some people do it because they're devotees to Santa Muerte. I was very apprehensive trying to study about her and stuff like that. And most of the literary sources are in Spanish. And even though it should be my native tongue, it's not. I'm English. You know, I speak English primarily, but I do understand some Spanish. I'd say I understand like a second grade level. And I can only speak it at like a kindergarten level. So most of the people that are really well versed in her, in having experience with her, speak only Spanish. You know, they don't even attempt to speak English. So there are very few literary sources out there in English. I want to download a book from an author by the last name of Chestnut, which is apparently a very good book. And I think it's... well, I forgot the title. Anyway, I've already downloaded one that's a grimoire. That's a volume 1. I want to download the volume 2. I want to get as many pamphlets as I possibly can to learn more. And most of the people that you talk to, some of them will refuse to even talk about her because of her associations. Her association of being a narco saint, of only having affiliations with drug dealers, prostitutes. People that are usually on the verge, they could die at any point. Those are usually the people that they say that call her, because they're usually so close to death that they don't know how much time they have, so they want to have a holy death, which means peaceful, calm, not painful death. So they call to her. My opinion is that there are just as many... There are just... to correlate her with drugs and illegal activities, you may as well correlate Jesus, you may as well correlate Mary, you may as well correlate any of the Judeo-Christian deities, because there are sinners in every religion, you know, so you can't just nail it down to one, you know, saint or one spirit in particular. She's not a deity. A lot of people... Ooh, the camera's getting blurry. A lot of people will post online that she's a deity. She's not a goddess. She is the personification of death. You know? And a lot of people, myself included, are very intimidated by that personification. Although, reason being is because we don't want our lives cut short. I will tell you that through Hecate's lessons, I have learned how to accept death more and know, you know, it's just a part of life. I just don't want to go early before my son is ready. That's all. Other than that, if I'm okay, you know? So anyway, so I've been talking to her. She's been popping in my head a lot. Granted, it doesn't help that I'm extremely obsessive. Everybody says to work with, because there's 3 traditional colors associated with her. There's red, white, and black. White is the one who's going to guard your home, who's going to be more family oriented, you know, more of the pure form. And there's red, who's the fiery one, who's going to deal with anything dealing with passion or love or lust or, you know, red fury, you know, what you associate with red. And then the black one is the one that's the most raw and the most intense, and she's going to be the one that's going to deal with vengeance, with mass amounts of protection. She's just a more raw, more carnal form. See, but the thing is that when they say, you need to start with the white one first, start with the white one. So that's what I've done. But the black one is the one that's appeared to me. So it's kind of contradictory on my part, but I'm just going to go with what I was told. So, when I incorporate a spirit or a deity into my practice, I get very devoted. I get very by the book, but also I go with my gut instinct and do with what they tell me to do, and I figure out my own methods as to what they like and what they don't like. I think that my biggest goal is understanding mortality, and I think that's a big goal for everybody, is understanding their own mortality and being accepting of the fact that death is merely a transition. You know, I don't necessarily think that people are so afraid of death, but they're afraid of the pain that they will feel and the pain that their family will feel. You know, I mean, it's common sense. But yes, there's been lots of confusion because her and Hekate have a lot of similarities. The owl, the association with death, life, and rebirth, all of those things. With motherliness, because a lot of people that work with the Santisima Muerte feel her to be very motherly, and she responds very quickly to the people that call to her. She will work with everybody. She's not picky. She's not judgmental. That's why, you know, a lot of people that are into illegal things will call on her, because she's not going to reject them. And also, she manifests things very quickly. According to other people, she manifests things very quickly. She's a miracle worker, according to a lot of people. Now, see, the correlations. Owls, the triplicity, the red, white, and black, the triplicity, Hekate is associated with triplicities. An underworld spirit. Let me see what else. The darkety dark stuff. Nighttime. What else? The bones, the skeletons, all that, you know. There's a whole lot of associations, a whole lot that are very similar to each other. So when me and other people that have had Hekate in our lives, and then she comes into our lives, we get very confused as to who's sending the messages, right? You know, like, okay, knock knock, who's there? It's either going to be one or two, maybe more, you know, but one or two. And so it leaves us kind of confused. So I'm doing my best to try to decipher the two. And they say that Hekate is not known to be a very jealous spirit, deity. What she actually does is she refers you to other spirits as like so that you can get a one-on-one lesson. You know, she's like a mediator, sort of. You know, like she'll be like, well, you know what? You want to learn that lesson? I'm going to refer you to this guy. You know? She teaches lessons herself, but sometimes she refers you to others, and she kind of sits in the sidelines. She like sits in the back, you know? So, anyway, I get obsessive. So to me, this picture isn't enough. I have to get a statue. I have to. It's just the way I work. Matter of fact, I felt really called to, I just kept having this nagging feeling, and this nagging feeling of go and get a Virgin Mary statue and modify it. Go get one and modify it. 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 Come on, go right now. And Hekate is not normally the type that's going to demand you to do stuff like that. She's going to be like, do what you want, you know? And so I was like that, and I just got this urge. Before all of these dreams started happening, I just got this urge to look up like Day of the Dead stuff. And it wasn't even the season. It was just like this major urge. And skeletons and skulls and all this. And I literally have 6 skeletons and skulls tattooed on me. So it's not like it's something that would be unorthodox for me. But it was just like obsessive. And aloe. The other day, my boyfriend was working at something on the yard, and he got frustrated, and he accidentally smashed an aloe plant. I remember going out there like, dude, why? And I was like, well, you know what? Never mind. I'll do something with this. So I got it, I smushed it up, and I put it in a little jar. And I was like, I wonder what use I could get out of this, you know? Because some people, when they use aloe, it's mainly for burns or, you know, abrasions on the skin. Some people even use it for dietary purposes, but it's got a lot of medicinal purposes. But I was like, if I just keep it in a jar, what can I use it for? you know, and I was just getting obsessive with the aloe, with the aloe, with the aloe. And I was like, you know what? So I got the ones that got uprooted, I got it and I put it in a little pot right here. I was like, I'm going to put that on Hecate's altar. This was Hecate's altar. So she is officially now the threshold, which is where she was supposed to be in the first place. Threshold, she's by the door. And like I said, she never really expressed to me that she cares what her altar looks like. So it's not like I demoted her, I just moved her, you know. And since Santa Muerte is one that really likes lots of adornments and likes lots of altar space, that's why I moved her here. So anyway, okay. So aloe was on the altar and it just felt right. You know, aloe was in the bath that I gave myself, right? You know, and just all the Mexican related stuff I've been obsessive over. It was just like popping in my head and I couldn't control it. It was just popping in there and popping in there. And I was like, well, I'm just going to go with it, you know, because sometimes when you sit and question things all day long, you don't get any answers. You just go with it and then you'll learn your lesson. So lo and behold, I realized, you know what? She's getting sent to me because I'm afraid of her. Me, like everybody else, is afraid of the association. So how do you get over your fears? You conquer it. You address it. You expose yourself to it. So that's at the current moment what I'm doing. And I'm beginning to realize, now I understand how all of her devotees like her so much. The few dreams that I've had about her, she's very comforting. Like a friend, you know, and it's nice. So anyway, so those were some of the associations. And, oh boy, I write down my meditations. So, I will read some. Let's see, that's February. Here we go, September. Okay, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 9, yeah, 9/21, 9/27, 9/27, okay. September 21st. And we'll show you these symbols. We have a symbol, looks like a Y. We have a 7. We have this that kind of reminds me of the rune Othala. And then we have, there's a bunch of little doilies, right? That's what it looks like, right? But it came up later. Okay, we have sunrise, Spanish boat, beach sunset, fish, angel wings, a cabin being home to me, Virgen de Catalina, Guadalupe. That makes so much sense. Catalina is actually a skeletal figure of high society with like a sombrero hat that a lot of people misinterpret as being Santa Muerte, but she's just actually a high society skeleton lady. I didn't know that until 3 days ago. Santisima. It was actually Santisima. You see, this is why I write these down, because they make sense later. Wooden cross with purple drape. You've seen that, you know, people put up a wooden cross and they'll put a purple drape around it, kind of like around the arms. Make money, empower, love, cherish, have a need for life, live in the now. End quote. Donkey. Plant leaking white droplets under the earth. Orchids and lilies. I felt a warmth, dark hovering over and behind me. That's when I felt the presence behind me. Snowmen standing militantly, howling. So a bunch of row of snowmen standing like this with their arm up. Blue circle. It was an illuminated blue circle. A black yin yang. Jupiter. Pink lotus being held by a young Buddha. Brenda. An aerial view of Mary's statue's face while it looked at me. So an above view of a statue right around here, and it was looking up like this. So that was September 21st, and that was about an hour's meditation. See? Okay, The 27th, I got the fishy symbol again. You notice there. Okay. I got a wagging finger. You broke your promise. That's what it said. Red meat, dry fish tails. Okay. Sometimes these are symbols. 27. Okay. Leeks. Like the food leek. Pink flowers. Water. White face with red hair with logs for fire as a necklace. Book. Yellow snake with 4 eyes. I got the triquetra symbol with what looks like stairs going up. Red and blue triquetra. Triquetra is the Holy Trinity symbol. For those of you that don't know, that have never strayed from Christianity, it's the little 3-petaled flower deal. Eagles and hawks as guides. White glowing eyes with a person with long black hair. Long straight black hair. Kind of like the guy from Metalocalypse, but with glowing white eyes. Brian. Fish. Floating flower snakes. Okay, it looked like snakes, but they were made out of flowers and they were floating in the air. Colorful, colorful flowers. I asked for the names of ancestors, and I was like, you guys never talked to me, so give me your names. So, okay, I tried. I got Rebecca. Delia is my late aunt, recently late aunt. Roberto. Gregorio. Gregorio's that guy right there, I think. Yeah. Amaya, and the name Amaya has actually come up. Videncio, and their last names are Guerra, which that's true. That's my grandpa's last name. Lopez, Gonzalez, Mireles, Gracie. We have a Gracie. And Bandido. Bandido is like a bandit. Okay. Still not done. A former acquaintance of mine was wandering, and he got out of the netherworld, and now he's wandering in like a more blissful state. And I got the quotes, I am the one who lives right here. I am the one who combs your hair, believer in all worlds. I got possum, dandelion, Odom. Odom is a town where there's a statuary that I went to. A t-shirt that says, get out of here. And the quote, mean old boss. I got a frog, sun rising, the quote, you can't hide from me. Honey. Let's see. That's personal. Okay. Let's see here. It says Hekate October 3rd. Hekate wants pink lotus flowers in the pond and the Liberty statue. I got a dog smiling. Slit your wrists. And that actually came up later. It happened to somebody. The number 4, apothecary. That's the work or medicinal, working medicinally with herbs. Meat in mouth, Native American. So I got a picture of a Native American chewing a piece of meat. Sliced and raped by 3 men. Some woman was getting sliced open and raped by 3 men. Hekate is busy. Large eddy from Iron Maiden. So apparently there's a huge eddy from Iron Maiden. a star, red, shaking hands with old people, another one bites the dust, which that happened, flying, and a friend made a spaceship. Okay. Farm grass, diamond crowned dolphin, trash at the beach, thank you for flying with SAF, SAF. Red, black and white painted snakes falling from trees. Okay. Here's October 17th. Knowing yourself is knowing where it all came from. And then I asked, why do I keep seeing the goats? It says, the black goat is part of me. He shows up to trigger madness. He's your fears manifested. And then this symbol, whatever that is. 2 colorful fairies kissing. 2 women fairies kissing. And then the number 4 and then the pentacle. And then the quote, Melissa, I bought it. Then, like how to build an altar with stairs, different tiers. This one's for deities, this one's for intermediaries, this one's for ancestors, and this one's for whatever else, like decorations. Altar of offerings, brightly colored. And by brightly colored, I mean this. Hold on just a second. Brightly colored with this. Yes. My mom just gave me this today. I had no clue she was going to give it to me. I didn't. But lately, over the past week or so, I've been getting all kinds of gifts in regards to Day of the Dead stuff. Just the other day we got an apple tree. What's her favorite food? Apples. But then again, if you go into any kind of pantheon, you will notice that the gods, the deities, the spirits always like apples. The apples are universal. And honey. Honey too. Anyway. Okay. It says think Hindu or Mexican for the altar and the colorful. Anyway, oh, an hour. Chrome colored Egyptian with gold headdress and staff. Male. Okay, so it was a statue and the face was a man. It was dark chrome colored. He had the golden headdress with the black stripes, black and blue stripes. He was holding a staff and he had like, you know, like the skirt. And then I got an image of a belly, and it looked kind of like the belly of something with thick skin, like a crocodile or an alligator. Thick skin. And then the quote, let me tell you if I'm on the right side or not. I got smoke, and I got a green glowing starfish. That brightly colored neon green glowing starfish. So that's 2 for 2 with bright green glowing stars. Okay. So that is September and October. Yay. Let me put these back. Yeah. And what do we have here? I have all kinds of prayers and spells that I wrote down for Santa Muerte. And that's about it thus far. And that altar has been up for 3 days now. So we'll see where it goes. Some people dedicate their entire lives to her. Some people crawl on hands and knees to go to her shrines. Shit you not. Look it up. Some people, a good portion of them are Catholic. But I'm not. So they insist, whether you're Catholic or not, pray the Our Fathers, pray the Hail Marys, you know, do the Glory Bees and all that. But I don't want to say something that I don't feel to be true. And I already told her that in advance. I told her about Hekate in advance. So they said that if you don't do it the way she likes, then she won't do anything for you. Well, then, I don't know what to say. So that's about it for now. I'm going to get this tattoo reworked. I'm going to actually... Look, this was the plan before anyway. I was going to do this anyway, but I'm going to turn this into a reaper. A friend of mine's going to do it. He also did the goat. I'm going to turn this into a reaper, and maybe we can make it flow into the goat. I don't know. Anyway, so that's about it for now. I haven't smoked a cigarette in 3 weeks. Yay. My diet is non-existent, but at least I got rid of one vice. So, if any of you have any feedback about her, about Santa Muerte, a lot of people are afraid to talk about her. A lot of people keep it private. But I think that if you share your experiences, you help other people to grow, you know? So I'm a full believer in using social media or using any of these communication avenues to get a better understanding, you know, of the collective's experience. You know what I mean? So that's about it for now, and I'll see you next time. One thing I forgot. When I was getting called to do the statue, let me show you the statue. Okay, this was your traditional Virgen de Guadalupe statue, the Virgin Mary statue. Green robe, red on the inside, very chola looking makeup, and she had a little angel down here at the bottom. I scraped it off, okay? I scraped off the angel, and I replaced it with an owl, because I was originally thinking that I was making this statue for Hekate, but ends up, I guess I wasn't. Nobody likes it. Hekate doesn't like it, and I don't think Santa Muerte likes it either. So a lot of people online like it, and they want to buy it, but I'm thinking of just reworking it and putting it on the altar. Yeah, it should fit fine. See, so I don't know if you can see, the eyes are serpentine, because I've seen Hekate on a couple of occasions have serpentine eyes like that. Ooh. And the spirals are pretty universal. That's pretty much every pagan's understanding of death and rebirth is a spiral, the cycles of nature. The bottom was supposed to be the clouds, right? That's supposed to represent the heavens. This is rocks. That's supposed to represent the earth. And this is water. Heavens, earth, and sea, which was the 3 realms that Hekate was supposed to have reign over. You know, in the back, there's just some doilies, and that's her Strophalos symbol. And, yet again, another similar association, 13 stars, 13 dots. So yeah, so I guess I'm going to have to rework it. And I don't really put a lot of stock into the scythe. Is that how you say it? Scythe? The reaper knife? The sickle. Oh, the sickle's actually the rounded one. I don't put a lot of stock into that. And I would probably just maybe like hang a necklace. A lot of people pray the rosary. They take a lot of the Catholicism practices and pray to Santa Muerte because she's considered a folk saint, meaning that she's not a saint by the church, she's a saint by the people. And just hang something there, but I don't want to do the knife, the scythe. It just doesn't seem right. I'll do the world. We already got the owl. And maybe the scales. Ooh, we'll do the scales. Balance out justice and all that. And I'm not sure about leaving her black or not, because I have seen her, I'm all hugging it, and I like it so much. I have seen her in the black hood, but I have the white one on my altar. And apparently you cannot have the white and the black together, because the black one will taint the white one. And even though it's just a white picture, still, it doesn't matter. You have to cover the black one. And I don't want to cover you. You're so pretty. But anyway, alright, well, I just wanted to bring that up, so we'll see you next time. Say bye. Bye.